Hi everybody, welcome to ZealZaddy. I'm Scott Coventry, I'm the DM and storyteller of Mysts of Elixia. This is episode 21, The Mind is Water. This is a D&D 5e campaign set in a homebrew world. So far, all 21 episodes have been on one island, one small island. So this is the easiest homebrew ever. One little tiny island, never have to worry about anything else. We'll see if it ever goes beyond the borders of the island. You can follow us on Twitch and hit the bell to get notifications of when we go live, like we just did. But you can also follow us on our other channels. That would be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, everything at either /ZealZaddy or @ZealZaddy. In fact, I'm going to paste them into chat, so they'll just be there. Make it easy. So we are missing one player at the moment. Hopefully he'll show up at some point, because I had something really cool for him tonight. Damn it, he's got a show. If he doesn't, we'll get through it. And let me also paste in there while I'm doing this the players' links, so you can find them and stuff too, because they're awesome. So let's go to the players, let them say who they are. I have Brandon in NPC mode, so he will not be saying who he is, but he's awesome. He plays Markant Van Amstel, the cleric of the party. Let's jump over to Dylan.
Hey everyone, I'm Dylan. I play a Slove the Dragonborn Barbarian. I would like to be the first to inform Scott that our wayward player has said sorry in our Discord chat.
Of course. Of course. Keep talking. I'll move around live.
I am just excited to play, and I am glad that our friend Brandon has been able to make it.
You all are going to shuffle all over for a moment.
That's hilarious.
I called it.
You called it.
I said, you watch. As soon as we go live, he's going to pop in. And I was right.
You were.
You really did.
Psychic.
Are you there, Brandon? Oh, he's still.
You wanted the login numbers? Message me later. I'll give them to you later.
That was so perfect. Hello. And all right, why don't you go, Tiff? Well, maybe Tiffany waits.
Sure.
I put you in a window. Let me at least get you in a window. God, that timing was just brilliant. That was funny.
I'm Tiffany. I play Caradwyn Sagewind. She's the bard of the group. She joined the group as the local historian, and another campaign that I run as the DM is called Dungeon Damsels. We're on YouTube and lots of podcasts, and we have a St. Patrick's Day special coming up, so if you're interested, you can check us out.
Oh yeah, when is St. Patrick's Day?
The 17th.
Will everyone be in green?
Yes, they are in green.
And they're all leprechauns?
Leprechauns do appear. And yes, I'm Irish, because people will wonder.
That's perfect.
I couldn't tell with the red hair.
I actually dye my hair.
Yeah. I'm actually Irish too. You can't see it on stream, but my facial hair is red, though my hair up here is dirty blonde. It looks really weird.
That happens. I've heard of that with other people.
Yeah, I'm only part Irish, and it's just right here.
I knew a guy who had like black hair and then would have like red beard.
Oh, really? Ooh, that's weird.
Yeah, and like the science behind it was he was saying something about like the hair follicles on the face being like younger. versus the hair follicles on your head. And I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense, actually. Because he was a redhead when he was younger or something. Or there's redheads in his family somewhere.
Interesting.
No.
It's pretty interesting.
Genetics.
Genetics.
So bear with me,
you
folks.
Morgan, did you go?
I did not. I was waiting for Scott. I
Oh,
didn't want to
go ahead.
jump the gun.
Go ahead, Morgan.
All right.
I'm a little preoccupied getting this fixed.
No, I understand. What's up, everybody? I am Morgan with Mindflayed Mondays. If you need a professional DM, myself or several others can help you out. Check us out, mindflayedmondays.com. I play Vezrin, and he is the party asshole. No,
One of.
He makes the hard decisions.
yes. But
We're
I'm
all
excited
assholes
as
in our
always
own
play these
special way.
guys. So, well, actually, while I'm thinking about it, I do sell shirts on Amazon. So if you're looking for some cool TTRPG shirts, go ahead. And I do have some items on the DMs Guild, so give them a check. You might like them.
Can't see it very well, but this is one of them. Beware the smiling DM.
Yes. Thank you for rocking that and supporting. Appreciate it.
That's what friends do.
So, you know what? You introduced Brandon before he was here. Brandon, do you
Yeah,
have
that
anything?
Brandon, you go.
I'm Brandon. I play Marcon von Amstel, and I totally didn't forget what day of the week it was. That definitely did not happen.
Yo, I called that too. I called that. I bet you everybody's sitting there going, "Oh shit, it's time to play, dude!" Oh my god, I'm on fire. Seriously,
It's like, I'm like, what is going on? Isn't it Friday? It's like, whoops.
Don't worry, bro. It's happened to me plenty of times.
Oh, so embarrassed.
Glad you're okay. We're like,
Oh, food chipper. Wow, that was a pretty weird start.
her hair.
So, getting back to last week, does anybody want to do a recap? Bueller? Anyone? Bueller? Or collectively?
I like when we do it collectively, but we start off trying to get as far as we could in the woods. Unfortunately, the steward that we took with us, as well as the one, I can't remember what they're called. They're the black rings.
Yeah.
The one that was injured and had like no feet from frostbite. We had to help carry her through the woods, which slowed us down slightly, giving the Talon or Talbamese and her lackeys, my people, a chance to catch up to us, which we were able to make it to the Brock, which is where we made our stand with the help of the Unicorn Grim. There we fought off her and several demons that she called and tried to fight herself. I guess she doesn't realize that she's no longer a Deva.
I think she's under the illusion that Karos will make her a full-fledged Celestial again, because she seemed pretty surprised when she tried to summon angels and then demons stepped out, and so then she came and started to fight them. And
I
then
think she was some kind of divinity still.
yeah.
Yep. And then we started fighting her, the demons, and my brother's guard turned on him and left him for dead, which you were able to get over there and heal him. And as you were trying to bring him back to the cave for protection, he was hit by an arrow from Talbamese from the sky, which was also poisoned.
Yep.
And as you got him into the cave and told him the name of your guys' son, it was the last thing he heard. And then he died.
Yep. Eldrin's dead.
Which is so sad.
Yes. And while
Well,
we were doing Go ahead.
Tiffany is not excited to be sad.
And with that, also, Eslov and Morkant were focused on mostly the fiends, the demons that came out, while I tried to fend off Talbamese, I think, and then I ran out of spells and I had to grab a bow, my brother's bow.
That's right, the bow.
And
Took the sword.
as we finished off the demons and injured Talbamise enough, she fled back to the castle.
And Scott
we
got
are-
very close to knocking me out.
Yes. And then
And you came very close to knocking her out. It's why she had to go take to the air.
and
I really wanted to. I really wanted to.
I know.
we all did.
I
We
was
all
waiting
did.
for that nat 20, but it never came.
It didn't. They would come on the new dice.
Yeah, maybe tonight we do new dice. After that, we were inside the Grimm's, or the Brock with the Grimm, which was dying, and opened up a secret door, which inside we found the remains of the unicorn, and a stairs leading up to some weird watery wall or ceiling above us.
A ceiling of a baby unicorn. The bones.
Yes.
Which-
And that's kind of where we stood.
Yeah, Morkant would know that in the old days, that sometimes at religious sites, that they would sacrifice a precious animal to protect the site. It's kind of an old practice that isn't really done much anymore.
And that's universal amongst the pantheon, or is that
No,
specific to
no. It's more with the nature gods more than the
Asgard? Okay. So of the older gods then.
some of the older gods. And above in the stair, there's a place where you can stand tall in it, but just above your head, there's water that's just floating in a hole, almost as if it was below you, but it's above you, and it's got a little bit of a bluish glow on the inside. First it's on one side a little bit, and then as it fades there, it starts to glow in another area, and it seems to kind of widen out up into the hole some, but it's really hard to tell with all the water just kind of rippling and moving and all of that.
What's inside there, Morkant? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Come on up, Vesrin. There's water on the ceiling. It's really quite beautiful up here. It's very unexpected.
Yes, give me a moment, in which I'm going to go over and check on the unicorn.
Okay.
I want to take that horn because I am going to figure out something special for this beast that has been prevalent in my life for so long.
Okay.
A way to pay homage to it. I'm gonna look into trying to do something with it. And then I will turn and head up the stairs and say, Dwin, perhaps you want to come with me to help get your mind off of things for the moment.
What time is it
Focus-
right now?
We need to focus on what's next. We'll concentrate. There's some strange water on the ceiling.
It's in the evening.
Yeah, she's kind of like spacing out for a bit and goes, right. Sure. So she'll go after you, and
Yeah, she's had a rough day.
yeah, she's struggling.
Just so you can.
As we walk up, Vezrin's just quiet. He doesn't say anything to you, and he understands. What do we see when we get up there, Scott?
Yeah, so when you go up the stairs, and they're really kind of rough-hewn stairs, they're really big. You know, they're not like steps; they're more like slabs that have just been left there that happen to rise up. And you go up to what you would think would be a second level in here, and it's just the rough-hewn rock, but there's a blue glow to it coming from the water area above it, and there's just water floating above everyone's head in a square hole in the ceiling of this rock area at the top of the stairs. It looks like it's big enough for maybe one person at a time.
Does the space seem like to make sense as far as we going upstairs from the bottom to where the top of this would have been from the outside, or does it seem like off?
It seems off. Like maybe this would be higher than the edge of the rock that's left. But it could be very close and still be accurate. It's just hard to tell in here.
Okay.
Can we see the? So it's, is. Correct me if I'm wrong, because this is kind of what I'm envisioning. Is it like a cube of floating water above us?
Yes.
Okay. Carriage Wind's gonna poke it
In a hole.
with a stick.
Okay.
Oh, if she's stick is fine. I'm going to go. As she's turned it, I'm going to go into cast and detect magic, and I will let the others know.
Yeah, she'll take the butt end of her spear and poke it. Just be like,
Yeah, and the spear goes in and feels like it's water.
well, it didn't. It's not acid. Didn't dissolve the spear.
And how many feet up is the water from where we are?
You can't tell. It's just like waving and there's some glow.
Like,
It does
if I-
look deep, but it looks like there's light in there, but you don't really know.
Probably-
Like, how far am I from the water? Like, if I ask Karen to give me a push, could I attempt to swim up the water?
Probably, yeah.
You want a boost?
There again.
Wait, let me see what this is.
Your unicorn wanted us to see this, so obviously it can't be that bad. Can I get a boost up there?
I don't know.
Has it been a minute for the text? I don't know why it's so hard to wait a minute.
I don't think Eslo would have entered this like little area. By the way, he probably
Okay.
would have stayed outside.
All right, we can wait a minute.
Just
So
to
I'm pretty sure it is magical.
It is magical.
And what type of magic is it? Because
But
that's what I want to know.
You can't tell. It gives you the feeling of that old magic that was before your current magic.
Okay. Perhaps we should get my sister in here, and have the others come in as well.
Oh yeah,
So
why don't you go? Why don't you go get her?
No. I would rather us wait before we jump into this thing, so that way, if something happens, there's those who can help you. I'm not going to fall for your tricks.
She's just gonna take Morgan and like
Let's do this.
slowly lift him up.
If I can pull myself up the water while she does this, I'd like to see how far up I can swim.
You can get your hands. There's like, I wouldn't say handholds, but places to hold on to on the sides because it seems the water opens up wider above the hole.
And can I swim upwards? Can I use the water and push myself up?
Things
Well,
in
what-
That's what I
water.
want to attempt to do. Like swim.
Yeah, when you
Upward.
get your hands onto the sides and you start to pull, as soon as you get like your head and shoulders in, it feels lighter and you start to lose your weight as you kind of go up in.
Okay, and so I
And
just
then-
want to, on a breath of air, I want to see how high I can get, if I can see how big this is altogether.
Okay, and you pull yourself up and you realize it's not very high, not very deep, maybe 2 lengths of your body.
Okay.
And as you get in, your feet disappear into it, and from below you just see the haziness of him swimming up, and you swim up.
Okay.
Let's get the others so they can follow.
Do I see anything else up here?
You see that you're in some kind of a pond or a small creek or something. The water's not moving very fast, so if it's moving at all, and there are like lily pads or something at the top of the water, and
Oh. Is
and
that,
then you break water and you're at the top.
okay, then I'm going to turn around and dive back down so that I can tell them what's going on.
Okay, before that happens,
Okay.
what are you guys doing down below? As you see him go up to the top, and he just swims up. It looks like.
Eslov, please bring everybody here.
Do I hear them from outside?
Yes.
Is everyone like fit to walk?
Those
Yeah. There's some.
If anyone's like too injured or too injured to walk without discomfort, I'll carry them. I'll be
Well,
like, all right,
some-
follow me.
some have discomfort, but they'll walk.
I'll Well, I mean, if anyone looks to be limping, I'll just pick them up.
Eslov, can you please bring my brother's body?
I look over at the corpse, and I'm like, do I really want to touch that? And he does. He'll pick it up.
Okay. And Ratha and the other siblings who are crying and everything are
Is it like
following
a
you
cloth
up.
over it, or is it just a body?
Caradwin, did you put a cloth over it? Or anything?
No, she just.
No. I was going to say...
She went and brought him to his family.
Yeah, they're all around them.
As soon as he came in, I was going to pull the cloak over if he hadn't already done so.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off my fur coat and I'll put it over him so Eslov doesn't have to look at the body.
Okay. And the rest of Clan Madrick follows you.
No, he'll probably wait for them to go first.
Okay, they'll go first, but they'll stay close to the body of their brother.
Right.
Well, it seems like Morkant may have found something. So I think if we're going to get out of here, we may have to go through this. Roth, have you seen anything like this before?
Would you like to hold this and offer it to Caradwin?
Yeah, I can take him. She'll take him.
And you'll what with him?
She's just holding him.
We drop him on the ground.
She's just holding Eldon.
Okay. And you hold him and you kind of get not surrounded, but right near him, staying near him are the other siblings. They're all crying and upset. Their faces are puffy and
yeah, she's descended into like I guess it's like a cold rage, and so like she's just like at a surface level she looks like she's putting on a brave face, but if you like watch her, you can see like her hands shaking.
yeah,
And
What?
she's
makes sense.
You'll notice that while my family is crying, I am not. I'm...
Vesrin is cold. So what are you doing now that you gather at the top? Oh, so I'm sorry.
As I was saying to Rob, have you seen or read of anything like this while we're waiting on Morkant to see if he's still alive?
I've not. I've never seen anything like this.
Well,
It's obviously magical of some kind.
yes, I detected magic on it, and it's old, very old magic. Nothing that I quite understand. So, I wasn't sure if you've seen anything.
I have not bothered.
Well, let's wait a moment and see if Morkant comes back down. Otherwise, perhaps we have to go through it anyways.
Okay, and you're waiting for a while, and Morkant is still up in there. It looks like he's kind of reached the surface, and he's kind of taking a breath and resting.
Okay. I mean, he doesn't look in danger from what we can see. His legs are kicking and stuff, yes?
Yep.
Is there room for another to go up?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of room. It opens up as soon as you get in. It's just the entrance is really small.
I will go see what's taking him so long. I don't know if I need a boost, but if I do, Eslov, can you boost me up?
Yeah, sure.
You take a breath, you get your fingers under the handholds on the side, and as you pull yourself up, you get lighter from the water, taking some of the weight. And as soon as your feet enter all the way, you can see it's really beautiful in here. There's like glowing blue. It looks like maybe some kind of flowers under the water or something. And there are lily pads at the surface, and you swim up and you arrive at the top. And we'll wait.
Anything magical? Because I have my detect magic on for 10 minutes, so.
Yeah, all of the water and everything in it seems to be magical.
Anything when we come out?
When you come out and you open your eyes, we'll get back to you.
Okay.
So he goes up, and he goes up and kind of stops at the surface too, and kind of waits.
I'll look at Carrot and I'll ask, "You're gonna need help getting that up there, or getting him."
Well, I guess if we could tie him to me, I could just swim with him on.
You need help with it. How do you tie him out again?
Yeah, like we'll just, I guess, tie him to my back.
He actually probably would know how to tie a knot.
So we'll get that going.
So you get up there and you get your hands in. He gives you a bit of a boost, and you kind of lose the weight as you hit the water, and you can swim up and in, and it's beautiful in here. Like I said, there are flowers or something all around that are kind of pulsing blue with little tendrils, and the water's kind of rippling at the top with some light, and you slowly rise up until you get to the surface, and then your face breaks the water. What are you doing, Eslov?
I will wait for.
Rotha goes, could you give me a boost too, please?
I will wait for everyone to go up and help them, just so that if anyone gets stuck or anything, I can help.
Nobody
them.
Gets stuck. They can all get up and in.
I'll wait for everyone to go first, and then I'll go.
Okay, you can just leap up and grab the sides and get yourself in there. And when you get up and in, I don't know why the image is showing with all the
Does someone have a
shade on.
TV in the background going?
Yeah. I think it might be your
Let me
Scott,
check.
because I messaged him. I said, I think your noise cancellation isn't on or something.
Can you turn the radio off?
He causes it to get louder.
I tried to
Not
message you.
anymore.
I tried to message you before on Discord.
It's
I
okay.
think
That's
I
the
wasn't sure if your noise cancellation was off or not.
ambient
Oh
noise.
yeah. When I wear this headset, I don't hear anything except what's in the stream.
There's like a little gnome watching TV in the corner, in the room that we're in.
It's symbolic of the inner turmoil of the
Yes.
Magic family.
Yeah.
Carrot twin.
So Morkant, while you're going up, you find yourself looking in up the Apania's bedroom, and he walks out of the bedroom to see your father stumbling in drunk. And when he comes in, you can see that there's something very upset on his face. And it's funny, he looks kind of younger, but older at the same time. Younger on the outside, but older on the inside. And you can see it in his eyes. And there's tears running down his face, which you've never seen your father cry. And he looks at the Apania and he goes, I'm so worried. I've been left with my boys, but I haven't seen my eldest in so long. And with Orle gone, I don't know if there's anything left to protect Clovis or Morkant. I'm always at sea. And the Apania takes his hand, he sits him down, he says, you can protect one or the other, and you're here. Morkant is here. The people of the island are here, and you've been embraced, have you not? And he sits for a moment and he thinks, I know, but I feel I can't live like this. No wife, my sons splintered from each other. And the Apania looks at him and goes, you want me to send a message to the soul in Wythe? See if they can track down Clovis? And your father, he's kind of sits up for a moment. And then his face, and he looks like he gets some strength again. and then it weakens, and you can see kind of the alcohol take its toll, and he kind of lowers his face for a moment, and then he bawls. He actually cries, not just tears, but you can hear the sound of him. No, I need to go retrieve him. And what of Morkant? He's not ready for a trip like that. Most men aren't ready for that voyage. Mava's calling me. I have to be brave. I have to bring my boys together. They deserve to know each other before Morkant's too old and becomes bitter about it when he does meet him. What of Morkant then? We have enough words already. Please, if I don't return, can you give him this locket from his mother? When you think of it, of course, you think he's old enough, of course. But I'm going to return. It's a long journey, but it's been made before. Many ships travel to Arendelle and to Wythe. It can be done. And Epania looks a little saddened, of course, when he's old enough. But nothing's going to happen, as you said. We should pray to Aquar for safe sailing, and Mava to put only challenges that strengthen you ahead of you. And I do understand, Heinrich. Morkan will be so happy to see you when you arrive with his brother. And your father smiles for a moment, and then he takes Epania takes his hands and he puts them together. We should pray for a moment. And he goes, Aquar, protect the voyage of Heinrich and the vessel he travels in. We beckon to bring together a family that remains dedicated to the sea, protective of family, and fierce in their devotion to sea, and accept challenges ahead of them. And then your father, he goes, and Mava, if I don't return, please let my boys see the face of love, even in the darkest places. And he hands the thing to Epania, the locket, and he tightens it in his grip. Let him find comfort and be brave for the right reasons and the right people. And the Epania goes, the gods are with you. And you see the water start to roll over the vision as it fades up, and you arrive at the surface of the water. And you stare out. And then Vesrin is floating up. And as you do, Vesrin, you see a vision of your father Phelan dressed for sea, leaving again. Obviously, he's dressed ready to go, and you can tell that these are the days that he goes to sea when he's steeled and his face is hardened, even to his family. He lines all of you up in 2 rows, the older ones up in the front, the younger ones in the back. Your mother's no longer here, and I have duty to the larger kingdom. Remember, you are always serving someone greater, and you are never the greatest. Eldrin is in charge while I'm out. And while you're kind of seeing into the space, you see kind of across the shoulder of Eldrin, you see the face and eyes of Island scowling at that thought, those words. And your father says, dismissed, and he turns and walks into his office. And Eldrin follows him. He goes, what are the children? They need roles, things to keep them occupied. I leave that to you. But keep Vezran away from Aina, too. As a matter of fact, figure out a way to make a mark on them. Keep them in line and loyal, but afraid. And make sure there are no more minstrels or actors poisoning the family around here. No more of that kind of stuff needs to happen. Yes, sir. And he pauses for a long time while your father's gathering things from the desk. And then he starts to speak again after a moment. Father, I've been meaning to tell you something. And he stops for a moment, and he starts gathering his stuff. Well, spill it. I have things to do. I've fallen. I've fallen, and you can see he starts to sweat. You've fallen, then pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and be a magic. Uncontested in your loyalty, dedicated to family first, and ready to protect the crown. And your father starts to walk away, and you hear Eslov, just for a moment, whisper, "No, I've fallen for someone." But your father didn't hear it, and he kept walking.
I don't think Eslov says it.
I do.
No, not Eslov. Oh, Eldrin.
I got
Too
really
many E's.
confused.
No, Eldrin. Eldrin stands in one place forever, it seems. And then suddenly you see Aelin walk in, and the door was open. And then the waters kind of wash past you, and you arrive at the surface of the water. And Morkant is there taking in a breath and looking around, and you pop up next to him doing the same. And then you can tell there's someone else coming up behind. And then Caradwyn gets into the water, and the water kind of washes past her. And you see your sister Saren speaking with your mother Rhiannon. And Saren goes, "I found someone who can protect Caradwyn's boy. But the price is steep. It will get him away from Elixia and out of Eldrin's reach, though. But you'd have to agree also." And Rhiannon looks skeptically at her. And she looks really serious, which, for your family, serious is not always that common.
Yeah.
And Rhiannon looks at her with purpose, and she's, "Tell me." And they sit, and Saren sits in her own seat, but Rhiannon, your mother, oddly, and you don't remember her ever sitting there, sits in your seat, which is kind of an unusual thing. Normally, she would always sit in her own seat at the table. And Saren goes, "You know I love my sister and her baby, regardless of where the child came from." And your mother nods, of course. "I plan to make a pact, like the kind from the old days, to ensure Talison's safety. And Rhiannon goes, "With whom? And you know nothing of the old pacts. That's why I need you to help me. It's a pact, so I need to get it just right." And Rhiannon, your mother, looks at her, and you can tell from her eyes that she's both concerned but intrigued at this thought. And then Saren starts again. He goes, "First, we get the town elders to take Taliesin, and someone named Duerhallen will offer to take the child to safety. If others offer, we must sway the elders to him. It must be him. But what are you giving up? That doesn't concern you, Mother. Know that Talis will be safe and unknown to Eldrin. The safety only breaks if Eldrin hears the boy's name from Caradwyn in a heartfelt moment. And we know already that isn't going to happen." And your mother says, "Duerhallen, then." And then you kind of hit the water, and then you break the water at the top with the other two. And you're kind of looking out into a woods. And then others pop up, quickly. Ratha and Ilyana, all of them, except the steward, who he pops up to the surface too, but he's floating on his stomach. And Eslov, when you get in, you see yourself and your sister defending a territory in a battle with a human clan. You've had them before, of course. You have to battle over territory to make sure that your clan doesn't go hungry. The humans, after some time, falter and weaken under the pressure of your clan. Although they outnumber you, probably a good 3-1 or more, you know that given time, they'll wear. So the battle ends, and the humans remaining are allowed to leave, because that's the way of the clans. You don't kill everybody just to kill everybody. It's until they surrender. And you look at them and you see, and the humans look skinnier than usual and hungry. Skinnier than, and you've always seen them as skinny anyway. Even the big ones are skinny and kind of bones. You're not even sure how they survive up here in the cold with nothing on them. And your sister notices that and looks at you. She goes, better them than us. When she turns, there's a little human girl walking between you and her, catching up with her clan. She's dressed in all furs, of course, and she stares at you and your sister, but mostly you, as she runs past or walks past. And then she turns and she walks backwards, kind of watching you. And she does something with her hands. You're not exactly sure what it is until her mother takes her hands and leads her away. But even then, she keeps looking over her shoulder back at you. And then the snow makes them disappear. And after a few minutes, you feel the vibration of an approaching herd. And then the sound of the herd rumbles by and the water lifts up and you rise up out of the water. And you have no more vision. But when you get up, you do find that the steward is floating above you on his stomach. And he has not lifted himself from the water.
I'm gonna grab him and pull him out.
Okay. And when you get up there, and when you get over, he's floating like a dead man's float on the water. But when you get over to everyone else, they're all kind of taking a big breath, and you realize it must have been further than you thought because you needed a long breath. But you get there, and everyone's kind of on the edge of this little pond that you're in, and he is not breathing.
Have I dealt with someone who's drowned before that I know what to do?
Yeah, you love the sea. You've seen Drowned.
I figured, but I will do what I can, given my limited knowledge of human anatomy. I'll try and help him.
He has stings all over his body. It's almost like he was killed in there.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna do what I can.
Yeah, and the rest of you see Eslov throw a body onto the shore in front of you, and it's the steward. And he's got welts and burns in rows across his body, and the rest of you are catching your breath, and you realize that he's not moving.
Do they look like animal bite? I mean, like bug bites, or do they look like plant rashes, or what?
It looks like something kind of rubbed across him and just left these burn marks across his body, and he...
Is it similar to the plants we saw in that one pond?
Yes.
It might be like that one pond. Perhaps we've crossed over. Do you remember in the sacred clearing?
I'm not really listening to Vezran. I'm just trying to save the man.
Yeah.
So when you said, I don't know.
This is more to the party and not so much to you as you're working.
Yeah, I'm out of everything.
It was before you were with this twin, but Morkant, don't those marks look like the same stuff we saw?
Now, Scott, upon seeing him, does Morkant realize like he's beyond healing, or does Morkant think you can save him?
You don't think you can save him.
At that point, Eslov will look up at the cleric and be like, "Can't you do something about this? Why are you standing there?"
Put my hand on your shoulder and like, he's too far gone, Eslov. There's nothing we can do for him.
But what happened? I mean,
There's no reason this man
I
should
had
be dead.
strange visions in the pool. I don't know what anyone else's experience was.
This is a long shot. But if we are where I think we might be, perhaps because of his pact with the demon, it didn't allow him to cross over.
Didn't those creatures we meet say that most of the people trying to cross over didn't make it when they came through?
Yes.
You didn't deserve it. Now we have another one to bury.
Yes, we should prepare the funeral of Pyre as soon as we get someplace safe. But
Sorry, real quick. With us coming out, because you never did tell me, is there anything magical around us?
Yes, there's like a magical glow to the air around here, the whole place, and there's no fog.
Yes, which would lead me more to believe what I'm thinking. I believe we may have crossed over. Everything around us is...
Can we see the stars?
Crossed over to what?
You can see the
Second that
stars.
question?
You can see the stars, but you're in this clearing area. You can see there's kind of an open area, but there's a lot, and I mean a lot of trees and things like that around here. Huge trees.
Do I recognize the stars?
You do. You feel like you're still in basically the same place, stars-wise.
Aside from all the trees.
Yeah, it's still cold here though, but there's no, it's not snow covered.
Let's level point at the sky and say all the patterns are the same. It's like we haven't moved.
Yes, but...
Well, that's good.
But the snow is gone, yes?
Yeah, there's trees around.
And
Doesn't make any sense.
the rock isn't underneath us, so we're not where we were. What if we did cross over, but over is just like another layer on top of this island? Like, it's still the same, but different.
So there's like a really long pause for Karashwin, and she's just like, never mind, I can't process this right now.
I feel like that's something Esla would say. We're in the same place, but it's different.
I think regardless of where we are, our priority now should be to prepare the pyre and deal with that first, so everyone can be prepared for whatever we need to do next.
Erdogan, how would you like him to be taken care of? And I'll point to the body you've been carrying.
She'll like, at this point she's pulled him off her back and is holding him again, and then she says, well, I mean, he was a proud matric. What would you do?
Yeah, so say, what is the normal procedures for the house magic for death of a family member?
Normally, you'd have a pyre, and then you'd have a stone put in a crypt under the keep.
Yes, a pyre would be the way that we normally do it. So.
Good. We all like burning then.
Burials are fairly rare here.
Not enough room.
No point.
So, are there like flowers in the area?
Yes, a lot of flowers.
Esla will leave to go chop some firewood.
Even though it's night, there's a glow coming from the water that kind of creates a light in the area around you, and it's a beautiful forested area.
Am I able to get to the trees?
Yeah, when you're out of the water, you can go to the trees.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go fell the smallest one I can find, just to waste an entire tree.
Okay. You don't have to go very far. There are trees all over the place.
Does it feel more like spring than it would winter? Like, does the season seem off?
It's cold, but it doesn't feel like it was where you left, like freezing wintry cold.
What about the trees? Are they budding or are they still bare?
No, they're not bare. They have leaves on them and stuff, more evergreenish.
Oh, okay. I guess I would look for a dead one if it's evergreen trees. Yeah,
well,
fresh one.
Well, while you're looking around, you do find an old wagon that is broken down.
Is the wood dry?
Yes.
I'll break that down instead then. No sense in felling a living tree.
Perhaps just take the wheels off. We can use the base as the pyre anyways.
That was a good point.
Twin's gonna put Vezran on the ground and then...
Hey.
Sorry, not... Yeah, she's gonna pick him up and put him down. Just
I thought you were gonna knock me out.
Magic. He's gonna put Eldrin on the
what's what.
ground.
Damn, she just killed me. She's foreseeing.
I'm gonna put more than one in the ground today. They're just gonna put Eldrin on the ground and then sort of arrange him nicely, like cross his arms over him, and then she'll drape him with her winter cloak for now. Rotha, I'm going to pick flowers for Eldrin. Would you care to
I'll join you. Yeah, I'll come with you.
She'll
And she's still sniffling and sad and having trouble processing.
I'll just be like preparing the pyre and like doing whatever like rituals that they usually do.
Can you roll me those new dice a percentile roll, please?
See if they'll get
Alred, could you perhaps help my friend Eslo prepare the pyre for our brother?
49.
Yeah, of course. Okay, thank you. And Alred, Vesrin's brother, comes and helps you, and Ilyana goes and helps pick flowers too. She chases after them.
The flowers run away and she chases them.
Ilyana chases Caradwin and Ratha to catch up.
Oh, while we're picking flowers, Caradwin will say, something that Eldrin told me about himself was that he actually really loved flowers.
What?
But oh yes. There's a soft side to him that he often wouldn't let be seen. He liked daffodils a lot because they symbolize rebirth.
It's so obvious that you knew him better than the rest of us knew him, which I think is a tribute, a beautiful tribute.
She'll just keep picking flowers to just do something, and
Yeah.
I just thought I'd have more time. You always think you have more time, and then you don't. I just feel
It's
like
true.
I failed him. I feel like I failed everyone here.
You didn't fail him. He chose a path that was a hard path, and he wasn't able to fulfill the needs to meet that end. Maybe he would have come around, but with Father
Maybe
gone
it's-
so much,
Maybe if I had stayed, things wouldn't be this way.
you would have become the next Enna.
She just sits in silence.
You did what you needed to do. You protected your family. Sometimes you have to protect your family from your own family. We just had a battle with our own family because of it.
She sits and you can see her processing the emotions. It's just so strange to me that the same person could be so contrasting to so many different people.
I think he wanted a simpler life and was handed one of the most complex lives. And it wasn't who he was. He would have done well had he gone to sea and followed in Father's footsteps and been bold and straightforward, but he didn't have that opportunity. He had to become our mother, and it didn't suit him.
She kind of looks sideways and just
None of us.
No,
It didn't suit any of us.
it really didn't suit anyone.
No.
You know,
I've always felt sad for him, and the more I learn, the more I understand how heartbroken he must have been most of his life.
I want to know how Talbot fits in all of this. And how much of what we saw was him and how much of it was her. You know?
I'm very confused by Talvamise. Her actions were... They didn't speak of a demon, but then they did at other times. You know, in a way, she seems as conflicted as him in things as he was. So unusual. She attacked her own that she summoned.
And then she shot Eldrin. I don't understand that at all.
Well,
Why would she groom an asset like this?
Maybe
and
she
then
felt
just
there's
shoot
still one better asset left. And I fear she does have a better asset.
You mean your father?
No.
Oh.
The little one.
Oh, that one.
And yeah. And Ilyana catches up. There's some really pretty ones over there too. Roth, go pick some. You know, gather enough up. It needs to look beautiful for your brother. And she goes picking. Well, we shouldn't.
He could be quite funny too, you know.
I remember that when he was young. Not so much when he got older.
Well, it's more of me making fun of him, which was easy to do if he knew how to push his buttons.
I think most of us were afraid to.
Well, true, I'm one of the few people that would have that luxury.
Yes.
But
And a luxury
I would
it
sometimes...
is.
She's trying to, like, change the subject to, like, a happier tune. Because they got to, like, a really dark place.
Yeah.
So, it's just like... Well, sometimes I would call him my pouty prince, because he'd go and pout. And he'd always get so upset. I'm a Viscount Caratwin. How dare. And then I'd just pick him up and throw him over my shoulder and tell him to stop having his tantrum.
Oh, I can already imagine you giving him a spanking too. And she gets up and she goes, No, I don't mean that way.
Not an appropriate moment to talk about that right now. Man just died.
I am happy that I've gotten to know you a little better in the last day or two. But I do have a sister and brother here that need to have some attention too. And
Yes, of course. I'm sure they won't appreciate my off-color humor right now.
And she smiles and heads towards Ilyana. What are you doing, Vestrin? And Eslov and Morkant.
What was the other guy that was with us?
I've been building
Cardwell.
Cardwell. I will tell Cardwell to also make a pyre for the steward's body.
I'll help with both.
Yeah, I figured you'd be helping with both, but I have my brother helping for the family and the guard that came through helping for the steward that passed.
Okay. Yeah.
And I will just be kind of taking a lead, checking on how people are emotionally, and just putting myself in that situation to where I'm not living the pain. I'm helping other people try to deal with theirs.
What was that percentile?
You don't know.
I'd imagine I'd be prepping the bodies.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine too. Getting them ready for their thing.
And I'd also be looking around, checking the area out, trying to understand where we're at. Because like I said, I did have Detect Magic on for a little bit. I want to try to.
Can you and Caradwin and Eslov make me a perception check?
Also, at any like point that I feel free to, I will be checking the stars.
Okay.
15 from me.
I'm trying to get my character sheet up. I thought it was up, but it was not. I failed
Oh.
you.
I rolled a natural 1.
Okay.
I rolled.
Yeah.
I rolled.
Makes
I rolled-
sense, actually.
It's just so great.
Yeah.
I
It
rolled
makes
a natural-
sense.
Just a little.
Okay. I rolled a natural 18, 19, 20, 21. 21.
And Eslov?
15.
Okay. So, Vesrin, as you're walking around checking on people, you see kind of tucked between some leaves a big stone, kind of like a naming stone, kind of reaching up into the trees that was really hard to notice before.
Dwin? Dwin,
Huh? I'm coming.
do you see that?
See what?
Does she see it?
Yeah.
My perception check was bad, but is this a new one?
Well, he's pointing it out, so
Oh.
you
Oh,
don't even need one.
that.
Yeah, and there's these vines and trees wrapped kind of around a big, what looks like a naming stone, except unlike the other naming stones, the characters carved into it are not worn.
We'll go over and look at the characters on the stone and brush aside the like leaves in the way.
You-
Try to decipher the.
It's more like you have to pull the vines away to see them clearly.
Okay,
Yes.
so take out a dagger,
Yeah.
start pruning.
Yeah.
Vezran will help.
And Morkan, you see them head over to some trees and start pulling stuff down while you're dealing with the body. Eslov, while you're over there, you see something really weird. You see vines reaching up into the sky from the ground, but not on. There's nothing they're on.
I'm gonna walk over and investigate them. Like, I'll stop what I'm doing and be like, what? I'll go over there.
Cardwell keeps getting the pyre ready. And you get over there, and there are these vines that are just sort of reaching up into the sky. They look like they're wrapping around something, but it looks like there's nothing there.
I'll go to like stick my hand in the empty space.
And you punch something hard that is inside the vines.
I'm gonna like feel it and try and figure out what it is. It's a really confused expression on my face.
It feels cold, and it's big. It's like a big giant stone of some kind.
It has the texture of stone.
Yes.
Do I feel like markings on it at all?
Yes. A few.
I don't think he's ever come across an invisible stone before.
Nope. He has not.
He's just gonna be like, eventually someone's gonna look over and just see him doing this in the air.
Just pawing at the air.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they're preoccupied. Morkant probably sees you doing that because you're more visible to him. He's kind of
Someone's
in between the
gonna
two of you. And Morkant, you see him kind of hugging an invisible nothing, kind of reaching around something, but there's nothing there. Pulling.
I don't know that I would do anything besides focus on the task at hand. Just kind of give a weird look over to him and be like, shake my head in disappointment. And Vesrin, you can feet like the stone looks like whatever chiseled them in like did it yesterday. It's so cleanly done.
Do you recognize any of the symbols? Do I recognize any of the symbols?
You do. You recognize some from the naming stones in Phelan and other places, some of them. And Karen, you've never actually seen any of these runes, not just kind of worn away and, everywhere on the island are just worn away and it's barely noticeable until now.
I mean, I look over and I see them messing with their stone.
Yeah.
And I see that stone.
Yeah. You do see it now that you're looking over there.
What does the stone say? Like first of all, she'd be like taking out. She'd be getting rubbings and it's like, this is so preserved. It's just time pass here. I've never seen the carving so intact, not half worn away, and. Right. What did they say?
It seems like it's a poetic love story carved into the stones in the old language, whatever you call it.
Ancient Elixian.
Yep, ancient Elixian. And it says something to the effect of, Caelius created Elixia as a gift to friend and ally Llewellyn, who was a god, and Caelius, you remember, is also an old god, to Llewellyn, keeper of the eternal twilight, whom she secretly loved, and was created and this seems to have been created as a place to enter each other's dreams. And she was hoping to show her love in a shared dream state together. Dreams being one of Llewellyn's domains. The standing stone seems like it would transport your spirit as a shared dream under the protection of her celestial guard, which would be unicorns you see, and sea mares, pegasi, kirin, coatls, haliphants, and other creatures you've never heard of. And you realize that this is... I'm not going to say what you realize.
We're in a dream space created by Caelios. And
like I said, someplace here, but not here.
Time doesn't pass here.
I'm a genius.
And we were, and the Grim, the unicorn Grim, was sort of like her guide to this place. He was from her. He's one of her like animals, basically. And he led us here to be brought into protection into this place. And so this is a shared sort of dream space between Caelios and Llewellyn. So we should find bits and pieces of both of them here. It does... Not sure how our bodies got here, because it seemed to indicate it'd just be a spiritual thing, but I hope it's both. It's difficult to pop out on another side of the island with only a spirit.
Yes, it would be very difficult. Well, perhaps after we finish this pyre, we should get some rest and explore if we need to.
And as you're speaking, you see Eslov across this open area, and he seems to be feeling the air.
Do you see that? What is Eslov doing?
Eslov, what are you doing?
Yes, my friend. What is going on over there?
Munching.
Eslov, hello. Talking to you.
Let's go over there. Let's just walk over.
He must
maybe
be.
Maybe he can't hear us.
He looks over. He looks over. He doesn't say anything, but he just like shrugs in the air, and he goes back to what he was doing.
Yeah. After you.
Okay. So she'll walk over.
Investor will follow.
And then she'll just come up to Eslov, see, and he's Is he still like patting the rock?
Yeah, once you get over, he's like, go on, touch it.
And there's nothing to touch.
She'll just put out her hand where he had his hand, and then
And there's something hard there, like
oh, ow.
an invisible stone. Kind of like the other one, but invisible.
So it feels like a stone.
Yes. And it's big.
Oh. There's definitely a stone here. Yeah, that's weird. Do I feel carvings on it?
You do, but not as many.
Perhaps here's some paper. Let's do some charcoal on this.
Okay, yeah, that's a good
I'll do
idea. We'll
some-
get some
I'll
rubbings.
do that with them.
Yeah, I'll pass out some charcoal and some paper to each so we can kind of get this done quicker.
Well, you can't really see the ones higher because the stones are tall.
Well, I guess I'll be trying to get those ones.
I'll like try and like climb up if I can.
Okay. You can make me a climb. See if you can
Make me
climb
a
it.
climb.
Yeah, so
Climb
use your
check.
athletics.
Athletics.
Do with the climbing.
Oh, I actually do have proficiency in athletics. 16.
You're able to get up there. There's enough places to get some little handholds to kind of pull yourself up. Kind of like when have you ever seen people climb palm trees, coconut trees?
Right.
You can kind of do that kind of thing. And you can get up. You can find places to put paper.
He'll get the tall, you get the medium, and I'll get the low.
What are you doing, Morcant? The body, you finished getting the bodies prepped. They're ready.
You can see us all floating in the air now.
That's true. He's floating in the air like he's levitating on nothing.
So if everything's ready with that, I'll and I'm assuming at some point I did some kind of churchy consulting with the family.
Yeah, they all come and wait with you. The rest of them.
I mean,
Rotha.
they do. They worship Akor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
So.
I do whatever is appropriate within the Akor religion. And then eventually I'll walk over to my companions. Eslov, how are you doing that?
There's a stone that's invisible.
He seems to be preoccupied.
Also, we're in a dreamscape made by gods.
We are in a dreamscape made by God, and
Does
that's
that mean I
starting-
can't die here?
I mean,
Well-
we could test it.
No, I would say you can because he's dead, the steward. He
Well,
died
he's-
here.
That's what I mean. He technically arrived dead here.
I wonder if he's still
But he's-
alive.
but he is
in the
dead
other
here.
place.
He is dead here. I mean, he died on the way here. I assume you probably could die here.
I would assume if you could die on the way here, that there's probably a good chance that you can die here as well.
Are we actually here, or are we in a dream? Are we asleep?
I believe we've traveled to here in our physical forms.
If I were on the ground, I would have pinched Morcant to like see if he was dreaming.
Right.
To see if we're dreaming.
But you're up there, haha, unpinched.
Well,
When I come
maybe-
down, I'll pinch him.
I might have more answers once I can read these other rubbings we've been doing, because I'm not
Yes.
quite sure if it's just our spirits that have been transported, because that's the other rock was talking about that. I hope it's not just our spirits. That means our bodies are left on the other side.
I'll let you deal with that. As night falls, we'll prepare for the pyre. Things are ready. I'll try and get something cooked for everybody, and then we can go ahead with the ceremony. I'll let you all deal with this for the moment.
Morcant, make me a religion check.
Make a religion
I failed
check.
that religion check.
You what?
I failed.
Okay.
Unless a 7
Alright.
passes.
No, 7 doesn't pass.
Wait.
Eslov, make me a perception check while you're climbing up on the stone.
18.
While you're climbing and like going up, you realize that above you is Mava, the moon. Like straight above the stone, it seems.
That's interesting. I guess. Is
Yeah.
what he thinks to himself.
Yeah, it is interesting.
It's not too significant to him, so he just kind
No.
of shrugs and keeps filling in the papers.
Okay. And you keep marking them, and you eventually you get all the rubbings done.
If it doesn't move within like 10 minutes, or if I don't like see it to be moving at all, then I'll be interested in it.
Interestingly, it does not seem to be moving.
And then I'll point it out, and I'll be like, "Have you all noticed that lava hasn't moved at all since we've been here?"
Interesting. You
Well,
said
I did
something
get
real-
this.
Sorry, go ahead, Dwayne.
I did get the sense that time doesn't pass here.
So the real question is if we rest here and leave, will Tabamis still be on her way to the castle?
I'm gonna look around. Is there any wildlife?
Will we have time to get a full rest before we face her again, while they've only had a few moments in their time? That is the real question.
I'm gonna think of it. Is there any wind at all?
Yeah, there is some wind, and you do hear birds, although you don't see any right now.
Interesting.
And as you're looking around for them, you realize that above the other stone is Torve.
Point that at.
Do you think that this place has other things here already, like the people that went missing? I mean, the ascensions are generally tied to what happens with Torve and Mave, yes? And
They do align with their movement somewhat.
and the cities are built around these stones, which
Do you
are
think-
potential
Yes.
gateways to these locations. Yes.
So the Ascended go to the Dreamscape. Maybe.
I don't know, Morkan and Eslov, is there a way to tell if, well, we don't know where we're at. If we knew where we're at when Torve and Mave cross over these spots, maybe that's what opens the gateways. I mean, these are all theories. I mean, we can always come back and
Can't really predict Move's movement. It's sporadic.
well, not so
Well-
much predict.
While you're saying that, you realize that a lot of the runes that Eslov is handing down seem to be of moon, like the patterns that you mark of the moon when you're tracking the moon. The ones up high.
Lots of moon markings up high.
I guess not so much predict, but perhaps if we could see where the moons were located at the times that the ascensions happen, it could be tied to them being in these exact positions. Maybe that's
We
what
did
opens-
record that exact information earlier.
Yes, but I mean, I don't know if we can figure that out right now to see.
I mean, you should have it. It was notes we made earlier.
I don't have those. I believe
have-
you're the one.
You have all the scrolls in your scroll case.
Oh, well, I didn't realize you shoved that in there. I don't think.
Or maybe Morkan would have held on to it, but we did specifically look up where the moons were during the ascensions.
Yep, you did. And you knew where they were. You know where they were in the last X number.
Do the locations of those match up to where the stars and the moons are? Like, you can,
Morkant, you can make me an Arcana check.
19.
So, as you're talking about this and looking at these, the order of these moon things and the symbols that go with them, you realize you're actually looking at a predictive moon rune, that these are predictive moon runes. And this is way more complicated and deeper than anything you've seen on moon runes, but you know what they are from having done it most of your life. You kind of get the idea that this is actually tracking Mave and Torve's movements and predicting times.
So, so despite all the record keeping I have, what's on this one stone can predict where Mave is going to be
On the 2 stones.
on the 2 stones.
Yeah, this is something like, this is sort of like discovering calculus when the last thing you learned about was addition.
Yeah, I think there would be like, I don't know.
It's one of those aha moments, and you're like, oh my god. Oh
I
my
think
god.
in silence, I'd be pacing back and forth to try and. Vezran, do you know what this means? Do you know how many lives this is going to save?
Well, no, but I'm sure you have an idea.
This will tell us how the tides move. This will let ships know when to go and when not to. This is amazing.
This is incredible.
This also implies that that Mave isn't completely chaotic. That there's some structure to her movement.
That's good. So should we get as many of these runes for you so you can take that back to hopefully
We need to get all this to the soul. I mean, this is maybe the greatest breakthrough.
Oh, let's do it then. I mean,
Assuming it's correct, but based on what we have here, it appears to be.
I'm all for this. Who knows when we'll be able to come back here again, if at all.
And while you're looking at the other rune, like all the paperwork they gave you, they have the runes from the other stone and runes from this. You recognize also some of the things in here, like you recognize the god Llewellyn as having, at some point, you kind of vaguely remember Llewellyn being an ally to Aquar at some point and spoken highly, and Quiel, who is also mentioned, also was, through Llewellyn, an ally.
Is that during the battle when they took down the other
Yes.
gods? They were all allies?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and Llewellyn was a peer, although Quiel was perhaps a lesser deity under Llewellyn, maybe? It's hard to know with all this stuff that's so old. But you know that they were somehow connected or intertwined in some way in the past. At least in the myths.
In the teachings?
The teachings, yeah, it's a better word. Myths was not really quite right. I was thinking, that's not really the right word.
Definitely not the way the Morcant would look at it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should get as much as we can and rest and hope that being in this place buys us time to chase after Talbamis. Do we want to set up a watch?
Well, let us proceed with the funeral first and get some sleep.
And when Morcan, make me an intelligence check.
Morcant is super smart. That's a 7.
Big brain.
Big brain.
You look at him when he says whoever it was he said, and you're not really sure who he's talking about.
I'm not really sure who you're talking
Who?
Do I remember who?
Yeah.
My brother who passed. Stewart?
What are you talking about, Vezran?
Perhaps this place does something to the mind. Perhaps we shouldn't stay here too long.
Yes, you're kind of talking crazy. I agree. Let's go ahead and get out of here. I don't see any
Yes,
reason why we're still here
I'm
once
the
we
one who's
have
talking
these
crazy.
documents.
What documents? I'm just kidding.
Yes, those are necessary. I mean, that could really change the whole world.
Well, I think if this place is going to perhaps warp our memories, we should get as much as we can and get out before it's too late.
Yes, I agree. It's quite the find.
I mean, how much have we already gotten from that stone?
Well, from the invisible stone, you're still kind of trying to get all the markings and rubbings.
Is that the one from Ave?
Yes, it's the invisible one. And it's hard. It's slower to do because you don't. I mean, obviously you can't see it and just go find it. You got to kind of feel your way and get the paper lined up and all that. But Eslov's climbing up and getting them. Can you and Caradwin make me an Arcana or Religion check, whichever one is higher for you?
Oh, my dice is going away now.
14.
Okay. All right. So you're gathering the papers and stuff and doing what you're doing. Eslov, you know it's going to take you a while to do this. You're going to have to kind of climb up, get some rubbings, take a break, climb up, get some rubbings, take a break. It's hard to hold your weight up there the whole time, and do the rubbings one hand, basically do it one-handed. And you keep having to climb higher and higher. This thing is pretty tall.
Yeah, how tall do I end up going? How far up?
Are you going to climb to the top? Is that what your goal is?
Well, eventually, after a while of like trying to do this over and over again, he's just gonna figure out how tall it really is.
So you're going to stop doing the rubbings for a little while and just try and measure it, get a measure of it.
Yeah, just so he sees how much
Okay.
work he has to do.
And you climb up and you get to probably 60 feet or so.
Holy shit!
60 or 16?
60.
6-0.
6-0. And the other one is really tall like that too.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
So
sure
we're
we have
taller than-
time.
So we're like
To be
taller
honest.
than the trees, aren't we?
No,
Oh, okay.
these
What-
are
what-
monster trees.
When I see him going
Lord.
up that high, I turn to Morcant and I tell you, I don't think we're going to be able to get all that in one trip.
Oh, don't challenge Morcan about that. He'll just stay. We'll just stay the whole time until we run out of paper.
We have work to do, first of all. We can come back here.
Yes, we do, but I agree. Shall we get going?
I think we should return to our world if we can.
Yeah, I
case
see no
that we
reason
are
to stay
losing.
here.
I'll take one quick look around and see if there's anything else of note that we should see before going, and then
Well, when you
I'll
look
get my family to move on.
when you look around, you notice that from any angle that you go, it seems like the moon Mave is above that one, and the moon Torve is above that one. It never seems to not be above that one,
Right. Well,
which is weird.
let's get these pyres going and then leave.
What pyres?
The pyres that you prepared for my brother that passed and the steward.
Do I remember preparing pyres at all, Scott?
You do, but you don't remember who at the moment.
I did prepare.
Yes, well,
Perhaps I'm the one who's talking crazy.
perhaps, which is why I'm concerned.
Yes,
So, we should let the others know as well. That way everybody can check their own memory, see if there's anything that they're not recalling at the moment.
Well, Caradwin is really kind of studying those runes pretty deeply.
Just sitting on the floor, like scattered around her. Just
My suspicion is she's not quite ready to just pack up and leave.
I'll deal with Dwin. Check on Eslov. Dwin.
mm-hmm.
Yes, we're about to do the pyre.
Dwayne, make
Why
me an
do we-
Arcana check.
That's That's a 19. That's a 20. That's a dirty 20. Wow.
As he's talking to you and you're looking at these papers, you get like an aha moment in the runes. And you feel like you could actually read these now. And as you're looking at the ones that you're writing from the invisible one, you realize there's a story here also, but it's less beautiful than the other. But you don't have enough of the runes to put it all together, but there's definitely something more sinister happening with this stone.
There's another story. There's a story here. It's like the other stone, but way less flowery. Do I
Same-
get
seems-
like a notion about what the story is about? Like if it's about the same like group of personages or
It's definitely connected to the moon and the convergences. And there's a rune on here that purposely makes this stone invisible. And it seems like it may have been done to make sure that that Kalius could not see it, especially. Which is hard to do to a god.
the stone's invisible because whoever made this stone put a rune on it to hide it from Kalius. You know, it's
Very-
quite a feat to do because Kalius made this place.
Yes, I'm. Oh, that's incredible, and we should definitely investigate it more. But are you ready for the pyre?
Why do we have a pyre?
No, you know why.
There's
I'll
a moment where like she like has to like
yeah.
refocus
Okay.
and is like, why do we have a
I thought you were joining in Morkant's memory loss.
I
No.
wasn't sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
she kind of like slowly closes her stuff. Right. Let's get going.
Let's do it. Rotha, I believe we're ready if you want to lead in the ceremony.
Are you all just leaving us slow?
No. No, they're waiting for you to
No.
come down.
Before we
Calm down
start.
now. Don't go back up.
He'll slide down like a fireman's bolt.
And the rest of them they start gathering over by the pyre that was built. And Cardwell takes out a stone and sparks it to try and get a fire going on it. And it doesn't take long before the wood catches. You know, you see a little bit of wood. He blows on it to kind of get it going. And Rotha kind of... Morkant, perhaps you could say something. You are of the clergy. Not of the clergy, of the clerics.
Of course. So I'll go up and I'll be like, hello everyone, we are gathered here to celebrate the life of, and I'll look over the bodies, I'm assuming with no reflection of who I'm looking at.
One of them
These,
you remember is the steward.
it's so not appropriate for me to proceed over this. If someone else would like to give some words, I think it might be a little more fitting.
I'll do it. I'll say something.
And Rotha squeezes your hand as you go up and then lets it go.
She stands up and there's just a long, like, painful silence. You know, I realized today that the Eldrin I loved had been gone a long time before today. And I like to think that perhaps there was more to him that we could have all seen. I've realized he's been different to everyone. To Vezrin. A different person to Rotha. A different person to me. A different person to Caldwell. And she just tears up. And I wish I had more time with him, so I could see more of the real Eldrin. But now we'll just have to just so I can handle. I'm gonna go sob in a corner now, and she's just kind of covers her face.
Rotha reaches up and puts her arm around you as best she can, considering your height, and kind of walks you away.
I will step up and I will say, as she's starting to walk, I don't know if the rest of you had any sort of visions when we came to this place, but I saw something of Eldrin, a memory of him and my father speaking before he left. And I've always thought that he was just as cold as father. The vision showed me I was wrong. Dwyn, you should know that he tried to tell our father that he loved you, that he had fallen for you. And I think no matter who he was in the end, that part of him never changed. At least I hope so. The only last thing I can say is whether he was right or wrong, he always did what his father said. Always serving something greater. And I'll wait for my family to say the rest.
Yeah, and then they all take their turns speaking well of them. And Rotha actually says some things about the steward that seem a little disingenuous, but at least there's some words being said for him. And as she does so, the fire starts to pick up and gather the heat around them, and the pyre goes up. And she stands around and watches the pyre consume them, and she returns back to Caradwyn. And this would be a good moment to take a break. All right. We'll be right back in a few minutes, everybody. Okay. It's a deep moment. I like it.
Morgant who? What? When?
What? Huh?
Ha! What? Okay.
There's
What?
a lot going on.
No, I was telling more kind of I was doing the what? Huh?
Yeah.
Who? Okay. He's forgot who the hell Eldrin is.
It's just a very awkward moment where I see someone I don't generally like and someone I don't know who it is, and I need to say things.
Right. It was great.
So
Who's the expectation?
Morcon's the only one currently affected by the memory loss that we know of.
He's the one whose memories have whose memory loss has shown up.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick.
Yep.
Sorry
Same.
again about being late.
Still a little warm. These are for you.
Huh?
These are for you. They're still a little warm.
Oh, what's that one?
That's the because I made this one with sauce. That's the one that I told you made it with like the actual tomatoes.
We're waiting on Tiffany and Morgan. Oh my god, my wife made some homemade pasta and some pesto sauce. Oh my, it was so good. So good. Yeah. Yeah. I always have way too many noise things going on in my house. Every freaking game. Dogs, family in the kitchen. Oh my god, the pasta I just had. Oh. My wife's from Argentina, and they make, they're basically Italian, so they make that. We have a pasta linda, and they made homemade pasta tonight, and then they made a homemade pesto, and oh, so amazing. Let me know when you guys are ready, and then I know somebody was throwing some food down.
I'm ready. Well, I'm gonna be eating. I'm having dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to go. I'll just be like muting myself and munching.
All right. Let me see. All right. I'm gonna go back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Or we are back. Welcome for staying. So we just had the end of, or the basically a funeral with a funeral pyre, a fallen, at least momentary comrade, a fallen love. Wow, deep. And the pyre continues burning for a while. I mean, pyres don't just die out that quick. And
Wynn's just gonna stare at it. Like she's.
That's what everybody does. People really aren't talking through it. They're buying. They're in their thoughts. And after a while, you realize that the other stones, the runes on the other stones, click in your head, Caradwin. And you realize that other stone exists to corrupt the magic of the stone that's visible. What it seems to force the transport of the body and the soul to some kind of a nightmare dream state, not the state that it was meant to be in. You're not really sure what it means, the symbols, but it's a place where the shades are ever clouded. It wipes the light from the sky itself and replaces the same magics on the gray stones with some of its own. And you realize that the stone that's invisible is actually a trap. It traps it was meant to trap the god in a moment that they tried to enter the dream state and sent those affected by its magics to some other realm, and closing the portal for their return. And with the moon runes, you realize not only did it work, you think it might still be working.
It's
Uh-oh.
It's a trap. It's a trap. The invisible pillar. It's a trap. It's made to
and then she'll like explain what you just said.
it's meant to sort of warp what was originally intended here, and send
Body and spirit to a different sort of nightmare realm, and I think that's what's happening. That's what's happening during the ascensions. It's this, but wrong. Who could? And I. Do you think Llewellyn did it?
No, didn't you say? What was the other goddess's name?
Carol.
Kalius?
Kalius. Sorry.
Wasn't
sorry,
Kalius the one that gave it to the other goddess as a gift?
Yeah, right. Kalius and Llewellyn.
But what? How did Kalius get the power to do this?
Make a dream realm.
I'm just saying, perhaps it was somebody taught her. She was, from what you were saying earlier, I believe she's a lesser than the other goddess. I mean, she gave something to the goddess that she didn't have herself, but yet she was not as powerful. Perhaps somebody helped her, somebody who wanted to trick or trap them and didn't want her to know that she was helping them.
Oh, that's an angle. That's certainly an angle. Like this mentor of Kalius could have been, wanting to trap Llewellyn and Kalius for whatever reason, or take their spell and warp it. I mean, I was leaning towards Llewellyn because I was thinking there are only 2 players on this board. We don't know that.
Didn't the succubus say that Llewellyn's crazy at this point? Yes.
Yeah, she said something like that. Yeah, I think so.
What if when Llewellyn came into this dream realm, she was trapped or sent to the other realm?
Yeah, and then this third player intended that to happen. Maybe the third player is Karos.
Perhaps.
Because, we know he's got bad blood with Kalis already.
Is there any way for us to access that since we're here and it's...
There's nothing obvious about doing that.
I'm just barely piecing it together. I don't know.
It seems to work on a moon cycle.
Are we trapped here?
Related to the moons?
That's a good question, Islov. Are we trapped here? I will go back over to the pond to see if we can leave the pond. Like see if it'll let me go into it or if it...
Yeah, you can go into the pond. So you're going to start swimming down?
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can.
Okay, and you swim down, and it seems a lot further down than it was coming up. And as you swim, you start to realize you're going to lose your breath trying to get low enough, and it just seems like a little pinpoint of light at the bottom at this point. And then finally you end up having to come back up.
It's much further down now than it was when we came up. I don't think I can...
Let me try, and then I'll jump in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you dive in and start swimming. And you're a good swimmer. You can swim hard. You've got your tail can really help you with swimming.
Yeah, it's his mindset. He's like, oh, Bezrin probably can't do it. He's one of those times.
Yeah. And as you go, it really does seem to be much deeper than you thought. And it seems like it never gets, like the bottom of it never gets closer. Like it just stays a pin light at the bottom of the pond.
Right.
And even after a while, even you have to come up for a breath.
Yeah.
Have any luck?
He just looks at you with like an annoyed look.
Oh, no, it didn't work for you either. Oh.
He rolls his eyes.
I'm sorry. My word wasn't good enough, I guess.
Can I reach over and pull him in?
I'm still in the water. I was in the water.
He's there.
I'll grab him by the ankle.
Oh, can't take a joke, can we? Very funny. All right.
Keep it up and I'll dunk you.
A new goal. We must find a way to break this trap.
Break the stones.
Either break the stones or break the magic on the stone. Or maybe not break it, but find a way to bend it so we can slip past.
I'll
I mean,
look over.
we're dealing with some old magic here. So perhaps we need to spread out and see what we can find in a little bit further out. And if anybody has any other ideas, please, I'm all ears.
I'll get out of the water.
Pretty tapped out on spells, honestly. I mean, I could just walk around.
I'll just wind up and hit the stone with the blunt of my axe.
Has no effect on the stone at all. No effect at all. You don't see a mark even.
I'm hitting the invisible one, by the way.
Oh, well, you can't see a mark on that one anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
push it over.
it is a dream realm.
Well, we should also be aware that the longer we spend in here, there's a chance that we might lose our memories. Morkant has already started to lose.
Oh. Wonderful.
Which is why I was trying to get us out of here, so that way, hopefully, whatever damage is done can be undone.
Well, maybe there's another like for example, this place is sort of like a door, and we knew that on the other side of this door was the Brock with the horned goddess's mark, and maybe if we head to another door, you know what I'm saying? I know the only other one we know on the other side is really far, but I don't really. Let's just look around. That's all we got.
Yes. And I will inform Rotha of what's going on, so that way she can maybe combine her knowledge with mine and Rotha's. I mean, not Rotha's, mine and Dwyn's. Man, we're all messing up names tonight.
I know. Yeah. I got you all started with it.
You did. I blame you.
It's a terrible curse. And you start looking around. And after a while, let's see who finds this. Vesrin, you find the remnants of a road that seems to kind of wind into this place.
I will kind of look where it goes, and then I will...
It goes into the forest.
Well, perhaps if we want to get out of here, we need to follow this road that I found, which you guys can follow me. Well, do we want to rest now? Perhaps it's better we rest now and take the chance instead of diving deeper on low fumes.
I could use a break. That's all good. Like still bandaged up.
Well, I say we sleep. Morkant, do you still remember your name?
Yes.
What say you? Should we sleep?
What is it then?
It's Morkant. He just said it.
What's your last name?
Von Amstel.
Good.
Oh, he's not that far gone.
You're good.
Perhaps we should do a small test to see if there's anything of significant knowledge that we've forgotten. I'm Vesrin, son of Faye. Let me know if there's a name that I wouldn't know my family before I start saying anything. Would I know all my names? All the names?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Do I remember my sister's name?
Yes. Make me an intelligence check, Eslov.
6.
Okay. Yep.
What was the DC on that?
Do I remember all the things?
I don't know what are you thinking of?
And
Also her family? It seems to be a theme.
Yeah, you remember your family's names.
Thank you.
I remember my first time out on the ocean.
You do, and it was amazing.
do I remember who I fell in love with?
You remember falling in love at some point, but you can't seem to put a face to it anymore. It's like you don't remember who you fell in love with.
Rotha, who was it that I fell in love with?
Rotha's just like, who's Rotha?
Edda, of course. You fell in love with Edda, don't you remember?
Eda or Ina?
Ina, I'm sorry. Ina, yes. I was looking it up as I was saying it. Like I was going, I gotta go find it real quick. Yes, Ina.
I remember falling in love, but the face has been taken from me, and so is the name.
Morkant, do you remember who you fell in love with?
I don't know that I've ever fallen in love.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Do you remember the girl who's possibly in love with you?
I don't think there's anyone like that.
She works in the soul with you. She's your right-hand woman, if you will.
I can't say that I do. I must have completely forgotten it.
Is it obvious that
Insight
you?
check.
Yeah.
Go for it. Morkant's oblivious.
14 plus.
Like it matters. Morkant's not lying.
17. You don't know who your right-hand woman is?
That's a weird statement to know.
For God's sakes, man, your assistant.
You mean Ida? I remember Ida, right?
Yeah.
You mean Ida? What are you talking about, Vezrin?
Oh, never mind. I just want to make sure you remember Ida.
Of course I
We're
remember
just
Ida. No, it was because we were children.
Good. Well, seems like some of our memories are being taken, but
My mind is still strong. I haven't forgotten the thing yet.
he forgot how to tie his shoes.
I don't have laces.
I don't know if he has shoes.
I don't think you wear shoes.
He probably wouldn't wear shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might
Well-
have boots.
Perhaps we set up camp, and in the morning try to recount the same names, same information again. See if it's still there, if anything's gone.
Rotha agrees with you.
Before I go to bed, I'll think about my earliest memory, and then I'll see if I have that again tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you're kind of remembering, your childhood and growing up, and then for some reason you remember kind of leaving the clan, but you don't really know exactly why.
Oh.
You just kind of ended up in Elixia.
Okay.
That's weird.
Okay.
And while you're doing that and you're staring up, you notice in the stars that you are below what seems to be the constellation that has kind of been lost between being a unicorn and a Pegasus, but that seems to be kind of planted right between the two stones up in the sky, in the stars.
That seems like a good sign.
Yeah.
He's not gonna mention it. He's just gonna appreciate it.
Yep. Caradwin has a lot of trouble sleeping because the runes are kind of going crazy in her mind.
Yeah.
as you're assembling how the language works in your head and you're starting to understand it. Because the stone really acts sort of like a Rosetta Stone for you. It's like it puts things together that in little pieces didn't make sense in the places you saw it on the island. But here it does.
Yeah. She's in like just full on work mode because she just doesn't want to think about Eldrin. Or like beyond that. She just wants to be like distracted.
And Morkan, you're in your head, you're recounting the studies you had when you were learning in classes about the gods, and you're trying to like figure these connections between Kalius and Llewellyn and Akor and Mave and Torve, and you realize that there were stories of this demon or something that was always trying to deceive Llewellyn and Akor and what you think would be Kalius, although the words seemed to be missing from a lot of the stories. It was more like an unnamed deity. And this demon was sort of, at one time, maybe like a god of deceit or something named, and in your head you kind of start putting the words together, and you realize it made something like Akaros.
Karos?
Akaros.
Akaros.
And it could be Karos. Maybe, if it's a little twisted from being right, but it's not far off. And you know that language changes over time when people aren't spending time on it to keep it to the traditions.
And how did the mighty Akor smite this demon in the story?
Well, in the stories, the demon was not smited so much as always. He was sort of like Loki in the Norse pantheon, where, I mean, you don't know the Norse pantheon, but he was always trying to do things to the others and generally failing because the others would figure it out and then he would be punished. But smiting was, it seemed like he could take pain, he could take isolation, and killing him seemed to be out of their reach too for some reason. But at some point it seems like he just faded away, like maybe he was sent back into the hells. Who knows? And while you're laying there, Eslov, you realize the moons are not moving from their spots, even after hours. They stay above those stones like they're glued.
You sort of expected that at this point?
Yeah, just verifying it for you.
Aha, my suspicions were correct, he says.
To himself.
The flames out loudly in a mighty roar.
It shakes the forest.
And everyone gets the rest they need.
Long rest.
Yep. And
You
when
needed that so bad.
Eslov, when you open your eyes, it's morning,
Who am I?
and the moons are still above the stones.
Do I still remember my sister's name?
You do, of course. It's your sister.
Well, I guess the one specific. I have a billion of them.
Yeah, I know.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I have 1 billion sisters.
That's a big tribe you got there.
It's a big clan. That's why they could chase all the humans off. No big deal.
Yeah, he'll sit there with his eyes open for like a good 10 minutes, thinking about what he can remember and what he can't.
Well, you remember that you had some conflicting opinions on where the clan should move to, and then you remember kind of walking off into the wilderness until you found a shaman or something who helped you.
Okay.
Does Dwin will also spend time remembering and not remembering?
Trying to remember what you don't remember.
How do you remember what you don't remember?
I know, it's a tricky thing.
Really, she'll spend a few minutes thinking about the runes that she deciphered, and then slowly creep up on the what? All right, now what do I not remember, and what do I still remember?
You don't know what you don't remember. How could you?
So, do I remember my family?
Of course.
She's okay. Does she remember why she feels sad?
You mean why she feels sad right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
How familiar are everyone's faces?
So the day arrives and...
I don't think he heard you, Dylan.
Yeah.
Oh, what did you say?
I said, how familiar are everyone's faces?
They're very familiar. They all look just like who you know all of them.
Okay.
All right. So you said the day starts. Go ahead.
It starts beautiful. The sun comes up. The moons are above the poles, and the forest, you realize, is just massive. There's a chill to the air, but you hear birds now more abundantly in the area. It's a beautiful area in the forest.
How did you guys sleep last night?
I did.
Good job. I kind of was reflecting on a few of the teachings I've learned through the years, and I recalled the story of these deities, and I remember that at one point they faced up against a trickster demon by the name of, and I'm sorry, Scott, what was the name?
Akaros.
Karos. And I just can't shake the idea that perhaps Karos and Akaros are the same entity, that perhaps we're not dealing with a deity here, but just a trickster demon attempting to seize power as he had in the past. And that would explain why they weren't able to summon any diva to fight us at the Soul, or at the Grok.
So
The
perhaps, he's the one who put
Perhaps.
the stone.
Actually, hold on. I'm going to retcon that back. You don't really remember the summoning, or the Brock
What's the name?
for that matter.
I don't remember the Brock
You
that we
don't.
went
You
in through.
don't. You don't remember the battle with the demon summoning.
Oh, I don't. Okay, well, I don't bring that up then. I just think
Yeah.
maybe they're somehow related.
Sorry.
I mean, that changes a lot.
You
Maybe
kind
I
of
don't
have
think-
this vague memory of like a conflict, but it didn't feel like a battle like what you would have thought. It felt like more like a chase, and you came through the hole with this person that's now
I'll just-
burned.
Okay. So rephrasing how Morcant would have said it would
Yeah.
have been something to the effect of, and I just can't stop shaking the feeling that it's somehow related.
I mean, it's certainly possible. As someone who's perused a lot of history, I can tell you names change over time through misspellings, through word of mouth, and it's very possible they're actually the same person.
Well, to be
So-
honest, Karos's name, we have like 8 of them written down throughout
That too.
already. So
Yep.
if it is this demon, then it
And
just
lots,
chooses different names for convenience.
and you have lots of different spellings of it.
Yeah.
So, could he perhaps, going off of my theory from yesterday, could he perhaps been the one to trick Kalius and then source this place with that trap that she was
It-
unaware?
True.
It would
I mean,
be
possible. That explains the third player.
And that would also explain why I'm so brilliant. No, I'm kidding. But
She'll just does Vezran have a hood?
Are you, Vezran?
yeah, that's
She'll just flip your hood up. Like,
Are you
stop
kidding?
it.
Hey, I said this yesterday. I called it. So what we need? So we're dealing with a trickster demon. What do we know about demons between all of us? Besides that they're nasty, soul-stealing scum.
Do I even know what a demon is? Aside from like what we
Yeah, you-
already experienced as a party.
Yeah, you've heard stories.
I mean,
Well, we know that
They're evil.
their magic is nullified by Karos's magic or power.
is that true?
what do you mean?
Well, I mean, just the succubi demon. We put her in
Oh,
the.
not Karos, but the horned goddess.
Oh yeah, the horn goddess.
Sorry.
I was like,
Sorry.
like, wait.
C names. Sorry. Kalius.
Alias, there it is.
here's the thing. I still have that jar of Karos. I'm like, that works. I'll throw that shit in here right now. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Call it a day. Yeah.
Kalius. Yes.
Wait, Vezran, don't you have that jar of carrots?
No, I don't have a jar of carrots. So,
We know that they well, I mean I think they would not they're not from here, are they? Like, are they from a different place?
Who?
wait a second.
The demons, because when we were talking to this succubus, we said,
they
let's
come-
send you to the
they
place
come-
you came from, and she said, I don't want to go back there. And
It would be the Hells, right, Scott?
Yes.
I thought of something terrible. If I can remember, the mask, Scott. Doesn't the mask allow us to carve into the stones and stuff? Because it's the tool.
The tool that does not exist yet.
No, the tool
Oh.
existed. I thought the tool was the mask.
Well, the
No.
mask lets us see something.
Oh, mask us to see the path to the one place, which we have the mask. Did we not get the tool? I thought we had the tool, or we found.
no,
we-
like she was
the
trying to
tool
make the
hasn't
tool.
been made yet. The
Yeah.
tool
Yeah,
does not
that's why they
exist
had all the artists. They're trying to
Yeah, to carve into some stone or something somewhere.
someplace at some time.
Hmm.
Perhaps the mask can let us see what's really here in this dreamscape.
With what we know about the mask, would I assume that might be what it could do here?
You don't really know much of anything about the mask except that it was important to.
I thought we found out that it lets us see.
Yeah.
It lets you see something, but you're not really sure what. You've never made use of it.
I mean, I'll put it on. If we want to
No,
try.
you've done enough, and you have a son to find.
And we all have someone that's important to.
I don't have anyone.
And Rotha looks at you.
Your
What-
family's right there.
what-
Beth.
what-
She's
do
just
you
like,
mean?
really, Vesrin?
What do you mean by that?
Rotha, other than yourself
And Ilyana looks at you.
and Ileana, but
And
I
Your
mean,
younger brother.
you don't
No.
rely on me. I look at them. I'm saying like, you don't rely on me. You don't need me to live. She has a son. I don't want to.
My
misnomer
son's
him.
been living without me for 30 years.
Yes, and don't you think that your son has a right to meet you, at least one of his parents?
Don't you think your family has a right to have you around?
Vezrin, your family already lost one brother.
Anyway,
You guys
we
discuss
don't want to
this.
put on the mask.
You
so-
guys discuss. You guys figure out what we're going to do with this, because we need to find a way out of here. And Morcant, your idea is a good one. Perhaps the mask works in here. Lets us see through all the fog and maybe find a way out.
Well, hand it to me then. I'll go ahead and take a look.
Let me go get it from my bag, and I will go over to my bag.
Okay.
I will pull it out, and while I'm away from everybody, I will put the mask on.
Of course.
Selfish Vezrin.
No.
Roll me 2d20, please.
Oh, interesting.
Tell me what's on both of them.
I got a 7 and a 15.
Okay. And you put it on, and
715 damage.
and it doesn't seem to have any effect on you. You can't do anything.
Just like the last time.
And I will attempt to pull it off.
Okay, you pull it off.
The mask doesn't work, from what I can see.
You put it on!
Yes, I did. Although you mean too much to me, and I'm not allowing you to be harmed by something that I'm carrying, I would not be able to live with myself.
Isn't that sweet?
And then the rest of us would have to.
And Rotha
that's
goes,
not-
but it doesn't
that's
do
not-
anything. You just said it doesn't do anything.
Well, we did get information from that one guy that it can mess you up. If I remember that.
You put it on twice and it's done nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe it just doesn't like Vezrin's. Perhaps that's the
Maybe.
perhaps.
I think that's probably the most likely answer.
I will hand it. I will hand it to anybody who wants to take it from me and try to put it on themselves. See if it works for them.
I reach for it.
You're a spite. Karen's gonna grab it. Stop throwing yourself on a sword, Vezrin, and then just put it on her face.
So who has it?
I haven't.
I was
Okay.
reaching for it, and then Carradine swooped in and grabbed it.
Okay, I guess. So roll me 2d20, please.
Okay.
It's like Russian roulette time.
It's an
Wait.
18 and a 7.
And when you put it on, there's a moment when everything goes like really bright for a moment, and then suddenly you can see this stone in front of you that you've been looking at that was invisible, and it's jet black, and there are runes that are glowing all along it.
Now, from the outside, do we physically
Nope.
see anything happening with the mask
Nope,
when we look at her? So
No.
it's like, well, it looks like it doesn't work for her either.
Oh no, I can see the stone. The pillar,
Yeah.
it's the
Well, I
invisible
can
stone
too.
that he
Oh,
was
the
called.
invisible stone.
Yeah, the invisible stone that you were climbing. It's jet black and it's got all sorts of runes on it. Glowing, pretty active.
And the other stone, you can see the runes are also glowing on it.
Also glowing runes on that one.
Easier for you to read this way.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
I don't have to do a whole bunch of rubbing. She's just just gestures to piles of all the rubbings. I have to transcribe all of that.
Would it be worth our time for us to hang out and let you translate this a little more, or should we get going?
Well, I'd have to climb a 60-foot pillar and translate all of it, so that's gonna take a long time.
We don't have a long time at this moment. We need to get back to where we came from.
The question of which is the better way to get back, is it to look at these and read the ruins, or is it to follow the trail?
I say follow the trail for now. I mean, if you want to look at these, I was hoping that these stones would show us well, not the stones, but the mask would show us an exit that wasn't visible.
I'll look around. Do I see anything else glowing?
You do. The road and the area around the road has an aura.
Well, the road has a aura to it too. Does it glow a specific color?
It does, but it's really hard to tell exactly what it is. And you can see the same thing happening with the pond. There's like a glow and an aura around that. And it seems to be almost changing all the time, and
Huh. She'll just stare at the pond for a little bit. Pond changes colors.
Can you make me an intelligence check, please?
I'm so good at those. That's a check. Is a intelligence check. That's just an 11.
Okay. All right.
Oh wait, no. Hang on. That's a 12.
Yeah. Okay.
So much more.
Hello. Are we just staring at the pond all day? Oh,
Sorry, it's just there's a lot of colors going on.
do you
Just
think you
to take the mask off.
What do you want me to describe the rock or not?
Well, can you just? Well, she has it on. Is there anything on the rock that we haven't figured out that's important to know before we head towards the road that you can see in a matter of moments here? Just scanning through it quickly.
So she'll get up and stand by the rock, try to fill in any blanks she can, in the next 5 minutes.
Well, when you see everything in context, it kind of makes the rest of the language make sense. And you realize that the runes almost seem poetic. Like the way that they're assembled. And when the stories tend to be even more beautiful or more horrifying than the stories in your own native tongues or known tongues.
While she's looking over it, I'm like, Twin, if you see anything important about the stories, you should write it down so you don't forget it. Because when we leave here, this could be your next major selling book.
Well, I mean, it's hard to put these runes into words because the runes and the words mean different things when they're next to each other. It's almost like poetry right here. Just the context of them next to each other alone changes subtle meanings. Honestly, I don't feel like our language could could do the justice that deserves. And she,
Probably the language of gods, yes?
it's certainly possible. I mean, given how ancient it is, how old, definitely crafted by higher tongues than ours.
Perhaps we take as much notes and now we head towards the road, yes?
She'll
did say it was
finish her
glowy.
notes.
Yeah, you can finish taking the notes. And now you can actually see the runes up high and everything. You can see the moon cycles that are up there. It's very complicated, the moon cycling. And you probably don't actually have time to get all them perfect. And getting the positioning and stuff is really important.
Yeah. So she'll get done what she can, and then she'll try to take the mask off.
Okay, you take the mask off.
Oof. Well, hopefully this is enough.
Make me a con save, please.
God, that's a 5.
Yeah, you have just an unbearable headache when you take it off. It just, the pain causes you, hold on, 3 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
From this just pounding migraine-y throb going on in your mind when you take it off.
Wow. She'll just kind of wipe. I mean, does some blood trickle from her nose?
Sure, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's just wow, yep.
Just give me that mask back. Clearly, it's not safe, and let's put it in the bag for now.
Just yeah. I don't have. She just looks at Vezrin for a long time and then just doesn't say anything.
I guess the road is the way we're going, shall we?
Yes. Bezra's looking at the mask when nobody's looking, trying to wonder, maybe again. Why didn't it work for me? And then I'll put it back in the bag. That moment where, as the party's starting to walk away, he's like, now, let's just keep going.
Okay.
I still will give him a side eye as he goes to put it back in.
And your crab kind of snaps at the mask when it gets too close. Yeah, your crab's loving it. He loved going in the pond. That was awesome.
Can't believe he's still here.
I'll summon Soul and see if Soul can fly around.
I'll look at the crab and I'll say, what about you? Have you forgotten anything?
It attacks you.
It just snaps its claws.
Yeah, it gets me right in the jugular.
God,
Oh, I'm dead.
Climbs up under your furs, hiding. Yeah, Soul you can summon and it will flit up. And here it leaves a trail of fire and stuff as it flies.
That's fun.
Yeah.
What does Rothus say anything when she sees Soul?
Who's that?
That's my companion, my familiar.
Oh.
I named her after mother.
You have a phoenix?
I assume that's what. I guess yes.
Isn't that a baby phoenix?
Yes, it is.
Wow. Lucky you.
I guess she's named after mother. It's Soul.
Oh, that's nice. And you're walking along the road, and it's kind of hard to follow the road all the time. It's it meanders. It gets smaller at points. At some points, it even stops, and you have to kind of find where it was again. And after a while, you you see the road connects to another road. You see a bigger road up ahead of you.
I would be using Soul to kind of see if she looking through her eyes every so often to see if we can find the roads and also see what she sees ahead.
Yeah, Soul's actually helping you like track the road. Carradwin, make me a what roll? An intelligence check?
That's just a 12.
Okay. Yeah, you don't recognize the road.
Yeah, she's like transcribing and walking, or at least trying to at the same time, and occasionally bumping into who's ever in front of her.
One thing that you notice though is it has warmed up quite a bit. Like the day has really gotten much warmer as you meandered through this road. And you get to this Y in the road. You're like the Y that connects to looks like a bigger road.
Did this road look at all like the road in the other world that led to this? Was there a road that led to this? The whatever it was called.
To the Brock?
The Brock.
There wasn't a road. There was just a big open plains.
Okay.
But you do hear the sound of the ocean in the distance.
Are
we all hear it?
Heading in that direction?
You're heading towards the road, and in the direction of the road, you can hear the ocean in the distance.
So on the Y, are we merging into the main road, or is the road we're on splitting into two roads?
The one you're on seems to merge into the other road.
Okay.
And it almost sort of disappears right before the road, and then, but you know that it would merge because you're on this road.
Well, I'll send Soul further up and further out and look through her eyes to see what I see.
It looks like a road. Nobody on it.
Is there any sign of like usage of the road? Like parts have gone back and forth on it?
Yes.
Bless you. Bless you. Well, you just follow the road towards the water. I'll keep Soul in the air to see if she can see where that sound is coming from.
Okay. So Soul goes up and flies out ahead of you. So what are you doing while you're just waiting here while Soul flies? Scouting.
I'm holding on to probably Morkant's arm or shoulder, and I'm looking through her eyes. I'm watching through her eyes, and I'm assuming we're walking still.
Okay, so you get to the point where the roads connect.
Okay.
And Soul is still flying around, and it looks like the road just continues on in the distance. And not very far ahead, you see that the road becomes a road along the ocean, and you can see out over the ocean.
Can I tell where we're at, like where the ocean is in comparison to us? Like,
you think that it's north, knowing where the sun is and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll share that information, what I'm getting with the group. And I guess we just keep following the trail. I say that the road keeps going.
What do you do? What do you do at the point where the roads merge?
I would say keep following the road. Yeah.
Okay. So you continue following the road, and
are there other smaller road offshoots, or just the one we got off of? Like, just follow the main road.
Just the one you got off. And this road looks like a pretty big road, the one that you're on. Carradwin, you know this road after you get on and you see the ocean. you know you're on the Arethusa Road.
We're on the Arethusa Road. Took the ocean to remind me.
But we're still in the dreamscape, right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
And I said we're here, but somewhere else. We're here, but not.
Like on, it's like when you put a cloth on top of something. What is on top of the cloth?
Well, the
Okay.
cloth. The cloth puts a barrier between the other one, but it still takes the shape of what's underneath it.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
This is just the dream representation of the road to Arethusa.
Yes, it's a working theory, but yes.
So, are we to assume that there is a dream Arethusa that we could head to, or are we going to try something else?
I mean, I think that's in reason.
If there was going to be a city there, I mean, it would make sense. That's where another stone was in our world, a big one, yes, and it's also where those portals went to. Perhaps all of that's tied together.
But as plain as any, let's go.
Yeah, I think either we figure the stones, or perhaps if we can find a soul, because it was a Brock that brought us here. Perhaps another Brock can take us somewhere else.
Exactly, it could be another door. So,
to where the city should be, is that our plan?
I mean, it's as good a plan as any. I just think we might need to find another unicorn, because the portal, the door didn't open until the unicorn Grim opened it, right?
But we weren't on this
Right.
side, we were on that side.
Well, I guess it could be a one-way door, and then the unicorn's required to make it a two-way. But I mean, there's a possibility that we need these sort of animal guides to take us through the doors.
I don't know how easy it'll be to find a unicorn, as most people believe they do not actually exist.
I mean, that's very fair. I'm just saying it's something we might want to keep in mind.
I'll certainly keep a lookout.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
if we see a unicorn, we'll be sure to talk to it.
Give you a call.
So to
In the meantime, I guess we're going to Dream Arethusa. I mean, I don't have.
Arethusa.
And you continue on for maybe a half a day, and you see a town up ahead of you. And you realize that wherever you are, it feels like early spring now.
Is it like significantly warmer?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, take off your coat warmer.
Yeah.
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 Do we see people in the town?
You do. When you get near enough to the town, you see some people there.
Interesting. I did not expect to see people on this realm.
If they are actually people.
Or
We'll see.
perhaps they might be a threat. If this is the same world that our people have been taken
Be
to,
on your guard.
we know that there could be dangers here.
I'll
Perhaps we
take
should
my-
be more careful.
I'll take my axe off my back and I'll use it like a walking stick.
Okay.
I'll just have it in my hand,
Yeah.
just in case.
Perhaps we should get a little bit closer and take a look before we head into the town. A couple of us.
Right.
Sure, like a scout?
Yes.
Okay, well...
Any volunteers to go? I don't mind going in.
Vesper,
Who's the
mean-
stealthiest?
Vesper, make me an intelligence check.
I have +1 to stealth, so
A 19.
I'm probably not too
You have not seen the flames
I
and
have
stuff
disadvantage.
coming back from Seoul since you got on this road, you'd think.
I'll snap her to like make her disappear wherever she is and like try to
Okay.
make her reappear again here.
She reappears, but there's no fire. She looks like she normally does.
Okay.
I guess I'll go take a look.
I'll go with you.
You two are very inconspicuous. I'll see you when you get back.
Apparently less inconspicuous than you. Have you heard the rattle you make when you walk down more?
I can be slightly sneaky when I need to be.
You sound
You
like
don't need
Possum
to look
Pants.
like this. We're gonna send the tallest people in.
They know we mean
Inconspicuous
business.
come.
As I said, I can be quite sneaky when I need to be.
I don't
Also
think we
happens to
need
be
to be
the finest.
sneaky.
I think we should be sneaky.
All right, let's just go talk to them.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best bet. I mean, there's no reason to assume everyone's a threat.
I'm
No,
being
I-
sarcastic.
I actually think you're incorrect there, because if we are in that world where those things came from, where they eat people and use them as slaves, and we are those people.
Wait,
we
okay,
want-
why don't you send in Soul?
I can have Soulfly over there and take a look through her eyes.
You could do that.
So, I'll say, Soul, are you up for that? You think you could do that for us? All right. Please. Please.
She flies wherever you want her to fly, and she
I'll
heads
try to have
towards
her.
Arethusa.
I'll try to have her going away to where she's not like a direct path, kind of like just coming from and then landing on like a building, trying to.
Okay.
Attention.
I'll take my crab out of my shirt and put him on the ground
Oh.
and say, go look.
The fire trail is gone.
Yeah. Yes, I noticed that.
And Soul flies into the town and lands on the side of a building. Make me a perception check.
Rolled on 11 plus 3, so 14.
Not bad.
She seems to be sitting across from the town square, and there's a board up, and you recognize a picture of yourself on paper on the board.
That does not bode well.
It's hard to tell anything else from this distance.
Is there a place for her to land that's closer to where I can get a better look?
Yeah, she could land on like a horse, a thing for wrapping the
Well,
horses
I'll
on.
look around and make sure that wherever she's going to land, that there's not like people that are too close that can immediately grab her, kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, the town's not super busy. There's some things going on. There's people walking around doing their thing, but it's not like super busy at the moment.
Do any of the people look like the people we met in Arethusa when we were there? Does the town look similar? Does the, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Matter of fact, one of them you see is the daughter of the barkeep. She's carrying something into the bar. Into the bar. And in.
all right. Then I'll have Soul get closer and land.
And you can read that it says that there's a reward for the whereabouts of Vesrin magic by order of the Viscount and your brother's name, Aelin. Wait, hold on, I gotta make sure it's the right one. Your
It's
youngest,
Aelin.
right, your
Yes,
youngest
Aelin.
brother, right.
Yes, Aelin.
You got so
You're
many
right.
damn family members.
Sorry.
Yeah, Aelin. And right next to it, you see another paper that has Caradwin, another with Eslov, and another with Morkant.
How
And
much
there-
is the reward for me?
Some coins. You don't really understand it.
Name.
Because I want to see if we're still in the dream world. I will have Soul kind of fly past the barmaid
Okay.
and see if she like looks and notices Soul, or if it just kind of like it's not there.
She seems to be busy. She didn't notice. She went into the bar.
I'll
Are
have,
you relaying this information, Vezrin?
I am. I can't hear anything you guys say, but I'm telling you what I'm seeing.
Oh.
So I should say that whatever I'm seeing, I will be telling them as I'm seeing it. I will then have Soul fly and land on somebody's shoulder, and if they look like they notice her or are about to touch it, I'll snap her back to here.
And it lands on someone's shoulder like, oh, and then you snap it back.
Yeah. Well, seems like Soul is able to interact with them.
So one of two things is happening, I believe. Either we are still in the dream state, and we're getting this vision for some reason about us being wanted, or when we walked onto this path, time wasn't standing still, but moving much, much quicker. And we're now in the spring, and we've been wanted for a while, and we're back in our own reality.
I'm gonna look towards the sky when he says that and see if the moons are still in the same spot.
No.
The moons have changed.
Yes, and the soul's flame trail disappeared as well.
Well, it looks like we're back in our own plane.
Time is moving.
I was starting to think that
Going.
as well, with Soul's trail missing, and then
That means your brother and Talamis have had months to do whatever their plan is while we've been trapped in there.
We should probably get off the road.
That's a good idea.
Now that we know that our heads are valuable.
The others with us were not posted, right? So perhaps we need to find a place for them.
Well, Arethusa does have a portal. Perhaps we can head back to Phelan.
Yes, I think the soul is the best bet. Apanye should be awake now, so we can converse with him and see what's going on.
We could use guidance.
Morcom, before we see Apanye, I think we should speak with the old crow.
Awok?
Awok, yes, because he can find out more information, and I think he'd be more. Why? What? The Apanye is somebody we can trust. He is still part of the soul, and part of the leadership of this island. If we are all wanted, he may have a duty, whether he agrees with it or not, to report us.
His only duty is to Akor.
Don't put him in a difficult position.
We put him in a difficult. Yes.
I mean,
Awok has a hidden basement.
He's also an elder of the city. He's more tied to the responsibility of the law than...
Awok has been investigating stuff he was not supposed to that went against things. He's already outside of the rules in a lot of ways. I honestly think Awok would be the best person to talk to.
well, maybe we should ask where your family wants to go.
I don't think right now is not the best time to go home. Ratha, as the head, what do you think? What do you think?
I think we should go wherever it'll be hardest to find us.
Well,
Into that bush.
I do come from a very secluded village.
we could get you on a ship to your father.
There's that.
My father's
We
at
could go
sea,
north.
but
Exactly. I mean, it's the spring. Ships should be leaving now.
yeah, they should be
Would you
coming
be
and going.
supposed
I think Awok would be our best bet.
I'm starting to think perhaps sending your sister to speak with your brother might be a smart idea, as he has any authority over what's going on here, to clear our name if nothing else.
Which brother? Aelin?
Yes, send your sister to talk to your father about what your brother is doing.
Where's my brother at? Where's my father at sea? Do we know?
I know the ships are leaving now.
But I'm saying, do we know where he is? Do we have word? We've been gone for months, perhaps.
You don't, but he was out during the winter, so he's probably returning or returned.
Yes, and if he's there, then Aelin's probably spun him his own story. And if he's not there, he's going to be here. It's not a good bet, I don't think, unless we know where he is and how to get her there specifically. it's not going to be an easy task. Not to mention getting her on a boat and past Aylin's eyes, which are probably everywhere on the island at this point.
I like the boat idea.
I do too.
I think it's better to send
like
him
it a
off
lot.
island.
Or perhaps we see Awok, see what he knows about what's going on, and if he knows a way to get her on a boat, he does have connections with the people at the boats. Awok can do all that for us if he's on our side. Plus, I don't know anybody else I would trust at this moment that can surely hide my brother and sister until we can find a way to get them on a boat. He has a hidden basement that most are
does
unaware.
have a secret basement.
If you guys know of a way to sneak them past everybody in the city, get them on a boat, and get them in the direction of my father, I'm all ears. But we've been gone for months.
Far easier to sneak them through Arethusa than through Phelan.
But
Phelan is a
Awok
much
lives on the
larger-
Awok lives on the outside of Phelan.
No, he lives in the
Like on
center
the
of
out-
Phelan.
No, he didn't live in the center. He was
He
out
lived-
near the forest
No,
because
he was
He's by the ocean.
Yeah.
but he's not in the middle of the city,
No,
right?
he's on the edge of the city, but the ocean edge.
So the
Okay.
far edge,
Yeah,
Which is also
which means
where
we
the
have to go
school
through the
is.
city,
yeah.
Or go around.
or like around. We could go around. Yeah.
Via
you could.
via water.
Hmm?
Go around via the water.
Yeah,
No.
the
Yeah,
wall
like
the wall goes
skirt
into the ocean.
Skirt the wall.
The wall goes into the ocean.
It goes.
Oh.
It literally goes into the ocean.
Yeah, not super far, but enough that for you to swim it would be a pretty risky thing.
We would need a boat would be necessary.
I could always, well, what we could do is I could have Soul take a note to him, and then
Yeah, that's a good idea. We can sort of have Soul deliver, and then
I
he
just
can
want to
come
know what
out
we're
to
doing.
us.
And then
We-
he could tell us if he can get them on a boat.
And Ilyana goes, we can put our cloaks on and nobody will know who we are.
Dear sweet
I
Ileana.
just would rather prefer to not put you in danger unless it's necessary.
There are many things that make me love you, and this is one of them. If it was only as simple as putting our cloaks up, yes. But Dwayne is right. So we could use the portal, get to the outskirts of Phelan. I could then have Sol go deliver a note to Awok for him to meet with us if he's willing. And then from there we can figure out if there's a way to get them on a boat, if there's a way to get them into the city safe, and perhaps learn some information about what's happened since we've vanished.
Okay. So we would just wait outside the city?
Until we get word of if it's safe, yes.
There is a series of underground passages where we teleport through, so we can get as far in as the 8.
Oh.
It's true.
I don't know what that is, but you can get into the city. That sounds really amazing. I don't know what the 8 is, Ilyana says.
It's a section in the city.
Wait,
It's a low income area.
how big is the city?
It's the grandest city on the island.
It's really big.
Isn't Cairo the biggest city?
No.
No.
What? Oh. Okay. I thought it was the biggest city. Actually, I thought it was the only city on the island. I thought everything else was a town.
Who told you that?
I just kind of assumed it. Father always said everything else is just a, support for Cairo. Like all the other places exist to support the needs of Cairo. So I kind of thought they would be smaller and you remember she's never actually traveled out of the city.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not.
This Ileana's first time out of the city, so she's going to learn a lot today. One thing we should be concerned about those tunnels, we aren't the only ones that knew about them. Tabamese's people knew about them, which means in the months since that perhaps they've continued the work that they left off while we were gone.
Oh, maybe they've made the tool by now.
They might have.
Well, the new artist should have come in because that was their next plan, and it is the spring now, and the boats may have arrived. But they had to bring them all to Phelan, so perhaps there's something there as well.
Even more reason to speak with Awok. We need to know what we're dealing with. I don't know anybody else that would be as honest with us as him.
I honestly don't know that he would be as honest as you give him credit for, but if that's what you think is best.
I mean, since I've known the old crow, he hasn't lied to us about anything. He's been very honest and very helpful in our investigation.
I've never known him to be a liar. We've been acquainted for a time, too.
And he was the target of Talbamese as well. Remember, they were trying to steal his information.
Assuming they haven't been successful without us there to stop them.
Well, let's just try to get there, and then we'll send in Soul. And then we'll have him come to us. Because then we can get information, and we won't be risking everyone by going in. Hopefully he's still there.
Let's go then.
So you're heading out to the portal rocks?
Yeah.
Okay. And you get out. It takes you a little while to get out there. It's not that long of a trip of a journey, and you realize you don't have any sacrifice.
Oh, I'm assuming we try to find it on the way there as well.
You see,
Keep an eye out, yeah.
Because we know we need one.
yeah.
Soul, I need your help. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll just summon it again.
That's more
It's
better,
a
right?
Phoenix. It'll be fine.
And then that's when I get a curse.
Along the way, you find a skunk.
Oh goodness, no.
I could try to hit it with a bow from a distance.
No, let's just find something else.
I don't want... No, that is not ever worth it.
If we
Yeah.
kill it before it lets go, I mean...
It's not just if it lets go, it's once it dies, it will still release some smells.
After a while, you find a decent-sized snake.
Well, I mean, that'll work. Imagine he's just out sunning. As reptiles do.
Yep. Your headache is gone, by the way.
Oh, good.
I don't know what the snake is.
That reminds me, Morkan, are you able to remember my brother?
Am I able to remember his brother?
You're able to remember the name because they've said it a couple of times.
But
you can't put a face to it.
Well, I saw the face. You
did. You're right. You did.
I understand who your brother is and that was him. I do not know how I knew him or how I came to be there standing over his pyre.
So your memory loss is still
Yes.
permanent.
Perhaps.
All right, so I guess we'll kill this snake and then take it to sacrifice.
Yeah, I'll throw my spear.
Throw it. Hit it.
And I'm waiting with a firebolt in case she misses.
Okay.
It's a 14.
You guys need weapons to kill snakes?
You hit it.
Yay! And it does 4 damage.
All you gotta do is grab it by the tail and just swing it around.
It sticks in the middle of the body, hisses, but it's stuck to the ground. and then it stops flailing after a moment.
We'll go over and get her spear. Then
Okay.
haul the snake.
Yep. You have the snake.
Okay.
You
let's
get
go
to the
portal.
rocks. You get there, and who's doing the?
Vezran's been the one doing it, so he'll put the blood in and do the offer.
Okay. Blood on your hands. You offer it up.
Yeah.
The beast comes, accepts your offer, and opens itself up and becomes your portal.
And I'll turn to my family and the Black Ring individual. And what was the other?
And what?
Corbin?
Cardwell.
Cardwell. Yes. This is going to take us very quickly to the outskirts of Phelan.
What is that thing?
It's something from very old magic. It's best not to question, just trust for the now. We've used this multiple times. Barely with no issues. Reflecting back on the first time where I had an issue.
Usually it's pretty safe.
There was and just after Ileana goes through, right before Cardwell, I'll be like, there was that one time though, Dwayne, with a guy, his foot turned around backwards when he came out.
Oh yeah, and then another person who.
What?
And I pushed Cardwell through. And I look at Dwayne, I'm like, hope that makes you feel a little bit better.
She just pushes you through.
He's still.
And then Eslov behind Carrie pushes her through.
Morcott tries to push you.
Could be a strong boy.
I'll
Strong boy.
pretend to get pushed, unless he does actually push me.
No, I don't think Morcant would do that.
Oh,
I didn't think you would. I just imagine like this big dragonborn. You're like, ugh, damn it, didn't work on it.
I'll turn around and I'll stare him down.
Fagin steps through, and then whoever goes last, it closes up behind, and suddenly you hear the sounds of bows being pulled, and this is where we'll break.
Oh shit!
Poor decision.
I'm not scared of bows.
I know, you're not scared of anything.
It's the civilians that are, I guess not really civilians, but it's the other people who are with us.
Well, Aelin had these well guarded. Perhaps. I don't know. We'll see.
We will see you all next week. Thank you for coming. It was a lot of fun tonight. And next week we start with some bowery.
Yeah.
Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Yeah,